Good morning, children. Today, in this video, I'm going to explain you the chapter Madam Rides the Bus, written by Valikanan from your reader book First Flight. Here, in this chapter, you come to know about that Madam Rides the Bus is a sensitive story narrated in a simple language. This is a story or journey by bus of an 8-year-old village girl. How she started the journey and how it ends. It has been explained in this chapter. And towards the end of this chapter, this girl, Wali, is brought face to face with the mystery of death and she returns home sober and wiser. Here I'm going to tell you about the author of the story Madam Rides the Bus. Valikanan is the pseudonym of R.S. Krishnasamy. Krishnasamy, he was born in 1920 and died in 2006. Started writing at a very young age and had published 25 books by the time he was 30. He worked for magazines like Cinema Ulegam, Navasakti, Grama Ozian, and Hanuman. He also wrote under the pseudonyms Nayandi Bharati and Korantham. He wrote a total of 75 books in his life: novels, novellas, poetry collections, plays, and essay anthologies. In 1978, he was awarded the Sahitya Academy Award for Tamil for his critical work on modern Tamil poetry. Here's an introduction of the story Madam Rides the Bus, written by R.S. Krishnasamy. Madam Ride the Bus is a story about an 8-year-old girl's first experience of riding a bus. The story presents a sensitive account of the girl's coming in contact with the world outside. Her journey by bus turns out to be a brief encounter with harsh realities of life. She comes across different scenes. She realizes the presence of death also. It sensitized her to the world around. She learns that there is much in the world beyond our knowledge and experience. Here's the theme of the story. The story is based on the theme that children are not ignorant or as vulnerable as the adults think them to be. They are curious to explore the unknown areas of the life around them and are keenly observant about things that catch their interest. Wali's attention is captured by the bus that used to pass through her street each hour. She gradually gathered information about its fare and the time it took to cover the distance from her village to the nearest town. Although a small girl of 8, Wali confidently undertook the bus ride all by herself. She remained in complete control of the situation throughout her new experience and reached back home safely. Another sub theme of the story is that life and death are integral to each other. Wally is delighted and amused to see the young cow run for its life right in front of the bus. However, she is sad and horrified to see the same cow's death on the road. The story thus conveys that life brings joy and death makes us sad. Children, here is the summary of the chapter Madam Rides the Bus, written by Valikanan. This is a story about an 8-year-old girl who wanted to ride the bus. This sensitive story gives an account of an 8-year-old village girl's first bus journey to a town near her village. In the absence of any playmates, this girl, Valyamai or Vali, used to stand in the doorway of her house to see what all went on in the street. She experienced many unusual things as she watched the life outside her home. The most exciting experience for her was the early appearance of a bus that shuttled between her village and the nearest town. She developed a desire for riding the bus. This wish became stronger and stronger and developed into an overwhelming desire. Whenever the bus passed her house, she looked longingly at the passengers and dreamed of having a bus ride as soon as possible. For months, she listened to the conversation between her neighbors and other people who frequently undertook the bus journey. She used to put various questions to them about their experiences and thus gathered sufficient and relevant information about how to ride a bus. She learned about the approximate distance between the town and her village, the time that the journey between the village and the town took, and the amount charged for one way fare. She also came to know that if she took the 1 o'clock bus and returned without alighting, she could be back home by about 2:45. So she made detailed calculations and plans to fulfill her desire to ride a bus. One fine spring day, Wally sneaked out of the house without her mother's knowledge and boarded the bus. The conductor volunteered to help her get into the bus, but a confident Wally declined the offer. She showed him the bus fare that she was carrying and got into the bus. The conductor was amused by her actions and manner of conversation. He jokingly called her Madam and asked the other passengers in the bus to make way for her. Everybody was looking at her, so Wally felt shy and hurriedly walked to a vacant seat. The bus was new and its outside was painted white with green stripes on the sides. Wally looked curiously at everything. The outside view was, however, cut off because of a canvas blind covering the lower part of the window near Wally's seat. So, what she did, she stood up to have a good look at the outside world. She observed everything minutely. She was so engrossed that she immediately snubbed the gentleman who advised her to sit down, lest she should hurt herself. Although she was only 8 years old, she did not like to be addressed as a child or as a madam. She made this quite clear to the conductor and her co passengers. Wally insisted upon standing on her seat, but she sat down after a while for fear of losing it to the other passengers who had started getting into the bus. Wally enjoyed the sight of the trees and fields passing by the bus, but what interested him the most was a cow running in the middle of the road in front of the bus. At last the cow moved off and the road, and soon the bus reached the town after having crossed the railroad gate. Wally was thrilled to see the bright looking shops laden with a lot of merchandise. All this made the little girl very happy. Amidst all this excitement, the bus came to a standstill and all except Wally got off. When the conductor asked her why she was not getting down the bus, she told him that she could not alight but go back to her village by the same bus. She took out another 30 paisa from her pocket to pay the fare for her return journey. There weren't many passengers in the bus during the return journey as well. The conductor asked her if her mother would worry about her and look for her when he gave her the return ticket. A defiant Wally responded that no one would be looking for her. Wally enjoyed her return journey too, looking at the same sights that had amused her a great deal while riding to the town. However, she received a real shock when she saw that the cow that had run ahead of the bus during her onward journey was lying dead by the roadside. Sadness overcame her. The sight of the dead cow that had looked so lovable and beautiful just a little while ago left her shocked. This sad incident haunted her and dampened her excitement. She no longer wanted to look out of the window and remained stuck to her seat till the bus reached her village at 3:40. After a brief chit chat with the conductor, Wally got down the bus. When she reached home, she found one of her aunts, who was a chatterbox, talking to her mother. The two ladies were talking casually about matters of the outside. Wally's mother was telling that it was not possible for ladies like them to know everything that happened outside. She further added that even if they did not come to know about such matters, they couldn't understand them fully. Wally responded to her mother's observation by saying, "Oh, yes." This surprised both her mother and her aunt. When her mother asked Wally to clarify, she just smiled mysteriously. Her aunt then referred to Wally as a nose poking child who acts like a grown up lady, but only Wally knew what she was referring to because, after all, no one knew about her bus journey. Then, here this video ends. In the second video, I'm going to explain you about the title and dictation words and the explanation of the paragraphs. Thank you and have a nice day.